Today's shocking testimony in the Delphi murders trial. Good afternoon, I'm Dustin Grove.
And I'm Anne-Marie tuning in for Felicia today. We are watching 13 News at 4. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, today happens to be day 11 of the Delphi murders trial. And during testimony today, a psychologist talked about the suspect, Richard Allen, confessing to killing the two teens, Libby German and Abby Williams.
Let's get right to Bob Siegel. He has the latest from the courtroom.
Today, the state called witness number 38, the state psychologist who treated Richard Allen while he was at the Westville Correctional Facility. And what jurors heard from this witness was by far the most damning evidence they've heard about Richard Allen. Dr. Monica Walla told jurors she met almost daily with Allen, who was on suicide watch during most of his time at the state prison. And during some of those meetings, Allen gave detailed confessions about committing the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. She says on April 5th of last year, Allen told her, "I killed Abby and Libby, I'm sorry." She said during that session with the defendant, Allen became tearful and said he has been selfish and a coward all his life and that he wished he could go back and change his actions. He also said he wanted to apologize to the girls' families and give them his Bible. Then, Dr. Wallace said in her meeting notes from a session with Allen a month later, those notes reveal an even more detailed confession. She says on that day, Allen told her he went to his parents' house in the morning, bought a 6-pack of beer on the way home and drank 3 of those beers. Then he bundled up, went to the trails where he saw Abby and Libby, followed them across the bridge, and then he says he did something with his gun, which he thought explained how a cartridge might have ended up at the crime scene. Then Dr. Wallace said Allen said that he told the girls to go down the hill, planned on sexually assaulting them, but then he saw a van and got scared. She said Allen then told her that he told the girls to cross the creek, cut their necks and made sure they were dead, covered their bodies with branches, then returned to his car, staying off the trail so he would not be seen. Dr. Wallace said she also heard Allen confess to the crimes during a phone call that Allen made with his wife Kathy, and that he wanted the psychologist to witness that. The focus of much of the testimony and the cross-examination is on what was Richard Allen's mental state at the time that he made those statements observed by Dr. Walla. And the defense is working hard to discredit the psychologist by pointing out her unusual behavior for a psychologist. We'll have more on that coming up on 13 News at 5. In Delphi, Bob Siegel, 13 News.
All right, Bob, thank you. And coming up at 4:30, our legal expert, Katie Jackson-Lindsay, will be joining us live in studio to talk more about these alleged confessions, the weight they carry, and how the defense is countering that testimony.
So that's coming up in just a bit. In the meantime, don't forget, every Monday through Friday night at 10 o'clock, we bring you a complete breakdown of what happens in court the day in our Delphi debrief. You can watch it on WTHR Plus, our streaming app. That is a free download. You can get it on Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and also Roku. Other news now, and it is exciting news for the West Side. Today, the city is officially breaking ground on the new Henry Street Bridge. This bridge will extend over the White River between Washington Street and Kentucky Avenue.
And it's exciting because the people in that area say this is more than just a bridge. They say this is also about bridging gaps. Our Marion County reporter Lauren Kostick today on the new chapter for the nearby neighborhood.
Work on the future Henry Street Bridge is underway, and its purpose is to do just that, connect the bustling downtown to neighborhoods here on the west side. For those in the Valley neighborhood,
yeah, we are Indianapolis' best kept secret.
A community so close, but so far from downtown.
And we are a place people only came by accident because of the lack of connectivity.
For decades, Jay Napoleon says the White River acted as a barrier to downtown, but that's now changing as construction crews move in.
It was like, you know it's coming, but when you actually see it, it does give you goosebumps.
On Wednesday, city leaders broke ground on the Henry Street Bridge. It will sit between Washington Street and Kentucky Avenue, with 60% of it dedicated to pedestrian traffic. That includes an extension of the cultural trail.
We didn't know what was coming next, and it's been a very long journey.
The project comes more than a decade after the GM stamping plant closed up shop, leaving thousands without a job and a community suffering. For Consular Kristen Jones, it was a mission that became personal. She lives in the community, and her husband worked at the plant.
We've longed to have that connectivity. We have felt distant from downtown. We've felt separated from downtown.
Now a new chapter for the West Side as Elanco continues construction on a new global headquarters, and the state announcing a new expansion of the White River State Park.
It is much more than a bridge. It is much more than a bridge to us.
A pivotal connection for generations to come.
And still, the sky's the limit to what this neighborhood and what this area of downtown Indianapolis can mean for everybody.
And the total cost for this bridge is more than $40 million. It's expected to be completed in 2026. In Indianapolis, Lauren Kostick, 13 News.
Thanks, Lauren. Let's talk Colts. They are making headlines today as they're making it official, making a change in the quarterback position for the remainder of the season.
Anthony Richardson being benched. Joe Flacco is now the starter. We knew yesterday that they were making this switch for Sunday's game, but today apparently it's the rest of the season. Coach Shane Steichen says he made the decision after watching AR the past couple of weeks. The Colts 4-4 right now with some crucial games coming up the next few weeks. Indy plays the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday Night Football with Richardson watching from the sidelines.
I feel like every player is still learning, ins and outs, because you get new information from new guys that you just be around, and I'm still taking information from guys, especially like Joe. So of course I'm still learning. You still got to prepare. Whatever role they need me in as of right now for the team, I'm gonna take advantage of it. I'm gonna dive into it, and like I said, I'm still gonna prepare as if I am the starter, because you never know what's gonna happen.
And I think there's a lot of advantages of being able to remove yourself a little bit and watch from a distance and learn and do those things. And I think. I think that's probably not to talk for the Colts and Shane, but you would think that's part of the thought process, at least a little bit, is to try to help him out.
You can watch Joe Flacco and the Colts right here on Channel 13 Sunday night, and our Dominic Miranda will be in Minnesota for all your coverage.